Hey, what's up, YouTube? We are here today, back again, looking at some new CZN data. They have recently done a Combatants and Great Rift content preview developer note. I am a couple of days late on this, but I had some other stuff that was going on, so I'm finally getting a chance to take a look at this. This should explain new additional updates for Chapter 2 of Season 3, including A Girl's Nightmare, as well as the Great Rift boss Punisher of Resentment and Adelhide, the new combatant. So our new agent is Adelhide. She's an adorable little bean, and I'm super excited about her. Um, that being said, let's get into this. So our first piece is the new Great Rift boss Punisher of Resentment. They're talking about how he launches consecutive attacks and causes mental breakdown when you discard cards. So the more you discard, the more breakdowns, the more apt you are to get a damage debuff. But if you have a mental breakdown, the debuff goes away and you can do full damage. So it's going to be one of those interesting things where you're going to be able to get in and get out. And if you fail to get out after a certain amount of turns, he will blow your ass up, apparently. It's a very interesting boss mechanic. It's something I don't think that they've done before. But the only way to get out is to do the normal get out. And then at that point, do what you can to do additional damage once that's been broken, and then just sort of rinse repeat and try to like manage output with breakdowns, fixing it, using skills, sort of in kind of like a constant loop. I think it's going to be a really interesting idea. Obviously, Adelhide will probably have some role in making sure that you're going to be capable of being able to do that, and then having high damage output characters like Hidamari and Haru and uh maybe Beryl. I don't know. We'll have to take a look at more when it actually comes out. Um but I'm excited to see kind of like what this one is actually going to do different from some of the other bosses. Um but yeah, you know, it is what it is. Um However, the thing that I was really the most interested in is so this is Adelhide. She's adorable. She's a tiny little bean, and we must protect her. And she is also the first Void Vanguard. We have not had one of those yet, so that's interesting to see what that's going to be all about. Um, be that as it may, she is also super unique in the fact that because she is a Vanguard, apparently she's going to be putting up a lot of shields. At least that's what I'm gathering. She applies a special unique keyword called blessings to allies' cards, such as using the Once Upon a Time card, and then cycle cards by selecting and drawing blessing applied cards through the card Protect Us. So we're going to just look, first of all, the art on these cards is adorable. Absolutely adorable. She's got her adorable doggo. She's got little flower fairies and bunnies and just fairy tale creatures galore. Now that's like her whole shtick, is that she quote unquote brings fairy tales to life. So that's a very interesting idea. Um, in addition to her blessing cards applied to allies, you can further customize your party's direction by utilizing Adelhide in a more offensive or defensive role through Doggy and Teddy, blessing cards that Adelhide directly selects and generates. She has generation ability as well, so that seems interesting. So her starting cards, as we kind of already saw here, we've got 1 attack and 2 shields. Once Upon a Time is exhaust 2, apply blessing to 2 random cards in the draw pile, and then draw one of those cards with the blessing keyword. Cards gained through Standard Epiphany are Protect Us, Friends from Fairy Tales, Truth Behind a Story, and Garden of Secrets. Protect Us is a card that has the blessing keyword and will apply blessing to 2 random cards in the draw pile. Draw one of them. Sorry, I just reread that whole thing. Protect Us, blessing. Draw 1 blessing card on the next 2 blessing card uses. Friends from Fairy Tales, unique. Select and create 1 doggy or teddy card. Truth Behind a Story. It is haste. It does 200% defense-based damage and gains a plus 100% damage taken by target for 1 turn. So it is both a damage card and a damage buff for a turn. That could get out of hand real quick. We'll have to see what the epiphanies are on that, but I'm pretty excited about that one. Garden of Secrets, it's a unique card that does 200% shield as well as 25% shield retain, which is not something that's very common. So she's going to be able to help your team keep shields up, which is always good. And then the 2 created cards that we talked about earlier on Friends from Fairy Tales, which is Doggy and Teddy. Doggy is a is a blessing card with the haste keyword that does a defense-based damage 60% times 4. And then Teddy is a blessing card with haste that gives 200% shield and 2 damage reduction, both costing 0 AP. Adelhide looks adorable. I'm very much looking forward to seeing what she has to offer, especially once we get a chance to kind of see in a few days what her epiphanies are going to be. I think that's going to be pretty crazy. I'm very excited to kind of see exactly what it is that she's going to be able to do. It also looks like for the first time in a while, we're going to have a character that you're going to want to hold on to basics. I think that having the ability for some of her cards to give shield retain, like Garden of Secrets, giving shield retain, is probably going to be really handy. So having as much shield as possible is probably going to be kind of like her shtick, and I feel like that's going to be really good for her. I'm also really interested in seeing what the ins and outs of Truth Behind a Story is going to be. Obviously, doing the damage is like whatever. So like it feels like she's going to have 2 totally different builds just from what I'm looking at here. She's going to have a support shield build, and then she's going to have like a doggy boost style kind of build. So like you're like one build's gonna want you to build doggy for the additional damage, plus the damage boost that you get from Truth Behind a Story. Wanting to know a little bit more about what blessing does. Okay, here it is. The blessing applied to allies cards provides sustain by providing shield when those cards are used or discarded. Additionally, it continuously enhances allies' stability by maintaining maximum shield strength on allies through damage reduction and retain shield. Yeah, okay. So that's the doggy card art and that's the Teddy card art. So I feel like I was right. We're going to have 2 totally different builds. One's going to be really shield heavy with retain and damage reduction, and the other one's going to be real combat focused with damage boosts from Truth Behind a Story and like other options, I guess. It'll be interesting. I think it'll be interesting. Obviously, we don't have a ton of details. I'm really looking forward to seeing what her epiphanies are going to bring to the table. And I feel like there's going to be some really solid decision making that you're going to have to kind of make from the start before you start building your deck out, because you kind of want to know where you want to take it and then focus on those epiphanies as you're leveling your way through your zero system runs and stuff like that. Obviously, being that she is void, Theater Revolution may not be her best chaos to go through. I wonder if I'd have to go back and look. But I wonder if Lab Zero might be a good pick for her. I'd have to look at the items in Lab Zero again, but it could be good. It could be bad. I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, I'm very interested in Adelhide. I'm very happy to see Void finally getting a Vanguard. Um, so it'll be interesting to see what she really brings to the table when she finally comes out in a few days. And yeah, that's Adelhide. Let me know what you guys think of what you guys have heard so far, what you're seeing with this. Let me know what you think some strategies might be down in the comments below, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Bye bye.